Hi everyone, this is Miss Ting. I like to work on a reading passage for grade 3. This is a state test kind of passage. So I will do a very close reading and try to explain per paragraph so that you understand that how this should be done. Okay, so if you're, when you're taking the real one, same thing, okay? I think the best way is still to understand it, okay? If you read the first time, you don't understand, that's okay, just go back, okay? The more you understand about the passage, really, it's gonna help you to answer the questions, okay, right on, okay? So this is the first one, and then it's excerpt from David and the Phoenix, okay? So let me first explain. Most of the times, the passages for state tests, they normally take like a very small section from a book, okay? So excerpt basically just meaning that it takes something out from this book, okay? So you don't need to know the whole story, but you just have to understand what's given here, okay? So just focus on what's given to you. Don't think too much about what happened before, okay? Why he moved, or you don't even have to think afterwards, okay? Was he able to climb the mountain or something? You don't know. Don't think too much, okay? Just look right in front of you, what are given, and then you'll be just fine, okay? So I will begin with the first paragraph, okay? So it says, all the way there, David had saved this moment for himself, struggling not to peek until the proper time came. He was holding something, okay, that he didn't want to spoil it, okay? When the car finally stopped, the rest of them got out stiflingly and went into the new house. But David walked slowly into the backyard with his eyes fixed on the ground. What does that mean when you have your eyes fixed on the ground? Meaning you don't want to look up, okay? So you wanted to control your eyesight so that you're able to only open it when you want to, okay? So that's why he said. As of this point, you need to get an idea that David is trying something really hard not to see something until he's ready. Okay, so for a whole minute he stood there, not daring to look up. Then he took a deep breath, clenched his hands tightly, and lifted his head. So now so paragraph 1 over here is telling how he walked into the house and how hard he controlled himself not to look up, and then he decided to look it up. Okay, he was ready to see what he wanted to see. So paragraph 2, it says, there it was, as Dad had described it, but infinitely more grand. It's like meaning more bigger, okay? So maybe his dad had told him about the scene, but then when he saw it in real life, it was much bigger than what his dad had told him. So it swept upward from the valley floor, beautifully shaped and soaring, so tall that its misty blue peak could surely talk face to face with the stars, meaning they're so close, right? Because stars are up all the way up in the sky. So to David, who had never seen a mountain before, the sight was almost too much to bear. Too much to bear just means that it was a lot for him to take in, okay? He's trying to understand the whole thing. So he felt so tight and shivery inside that he did not know whether he wanted to laugh, cry, or both. When you're feeling so much at the moment, sometimes we don't know what to do, right? I mean, I'm sure you have that moment, okay? So same thing is going through with David. And the really wonderful thing about the mountain was the way it looked at him. Okay, so he was certain that it was smiling at him like an old friend who had been waiting for years to see him again. So when he closed his eyes, he seemed to hear a voice which whispered, "Hey, come along then and climb." So number 2 is really about David's first impression when he saw this mountain, okay? Well, from the words, you could hopefully you will feel that David was just so blown away by it, okay? He was feeling very, very strong about this mountain, and he felt like he's actually having a connection with the mountain too, right? Because he could even hear that the mountain is actually trying to talk to him. So that gave you a lot of clues on how he felt about the mountain. Okay, so paragraph 3. It would be so easy to go. Okay, the backyard was hedged in, with part of the hedge growing right across the toes of the mountain, meaning that the backyard was kind of close to the to get onto the mountain, okay, or to the trail. But there was a hole in the privet large enough to crawl through. And just beyond the hedge, the mountainside awaited him, going up and up in one smooth sweep until the green and tawny faded into hazy heights of rock. It was waiting for him. Come and climb, it whispered. Come and climb. So he actually, so for paragraph 3, he actually took a look from his backyard, okay? He's just trying to find out that would it be difficult for him to go there, to climb the mountain. And so far, okay, see, it would be so easy to go. So it didn't actually look hard for him, okay? So he felt like, he could probably do it. But then he realized that there was actually a lot for him to do, right? So it's beginning with paragraph 4. But there was a great deal to do first. They were going to move into the new house. The moving van was standing out in front. The car must be unloaded. David would be needed to carry things. Regretfully, he waved his hand at the peak and whispered, okay, it shouldn't take long, okay? I'll be back as soon as I can. So then he went around to the front door to see what could be done about speeding things up, right? So basically, he's moving to this new house. And then he saw in the backyard that there's this, beautiful mountain that he would like to visit. But he realized that because their moving truck is still outside. So he really need to help out with the family to get this thing done first before he has his own free time to go to see the mountain, right? So that's why he said he would need to see what could be done, right? About speeding things up. He knows that once he speeds up everything, he gets things done. Maybe he will get to have his free time and then he could maybe visit a mountain, right? So that's what the paragraph 4 says. So number 5, inside everything was in confusion, right? Because when we're moving, everything is just confused, right? So Dad was pushing the chairs and tables around in an endless way. So meaning like, Dad didn't have a plan, okay? He was just pushing things around without a goal. So Mom was saying, hey, they all have to go out again. We forgot to put down the rug first. Okay, we know that, okay? If you have furniture you wanted to put on top of a rug, then of course the rug should go in first, right? But oopsie, the dad forgot to do it. So they had to remove the furniture out again and then put down the rug first. So Aunt Amy was making sure dashes between the kitchen and the dining room, okay, muttering to herself. And Becky was roaring in her crib because it was time for her bottle. There's a baby girl and then she really need to eat. So David asked, oh, can I do anything? Hoping that the answer would be no. Why? What would he hoping that the answer would be no? If no one needed his help, of course, then he could have his free time then. But guess what? Aunt said, hey, come here, Aunt Amy said, grabbing him by the arm. Help me look for that ironing board. Okay, so there he goes. When the ironing board was finally located, Mother had something for him to do. And when he was finished with that, Dad called for his help. So the afternoon wore on without let up. Okay, and also without any signs of progress in their moving. We all know, okay, moving can be quite hectic, okay? It's pretty hard. So when David finally got a chance to sneak out for a breathing spell, he felt his heart sink. Somehow, in all the rush and confusion, the afternoon had disappeared. So, finally he had one moment to go out, to go to the back and then take a very small break. He realized that, the afternoon is gone. Okay, and then over here it says, it's already the evening sun, and was throwing shadows across the side of the mountain and touching its peak with a ruddy blaze. It was too late now, okay? He would have to wait until morning before he could climb, right? He was hoping that, you know, if he could get the moving faster, then maybe he could still have time to go and climb the mountain. But then because everybody in the house needed his help, one after another, then the time was gone. So he would have to wait till the next morning. Okay, so here comes the first question. How does David feel when he sees the mountain for the first time? Remember when he stepped out to the backyard, he had to control himself really hard for not spoil him, and he took that moment very seriously, okay? So here's what, this is how you should answer in that question. Okay, so it says like, you know, David sees how David feels about the mountain. He sees it as tall, seemed to hear it calling him to climb it, and describe him as feeling so tight and shivery inside that he didn't know whether he wanted to laugh or cry. So these are all David's feelings, right, about the mountain. A response, oh no, okay, not this part, okay. So as long as you mention or find the detail about how David felt about the mountain, that will work. That will gain you the credit. So what are they looking for is basically, you know, how David felt when he first saw the mountain, okay? He couldn't wait to get to it. He was blown away by, you know, the beauty of it. So, you know, these are all given in the text. So all you have to do is just to go find it. Okay, and this is the second question, okay? So what do paragraphs 4 through 7 show about David? Okay, so let me go back to the passage, okay? You know, 4 to 7 are the time that he was hoping that he could finish all his work. Remember here? Like, you know, so from 4, he was trying to speed things up, okay? So he went back to the house, and then from here on, he's always trying to get his work done, okay? So for that question, all you have to do is to explain that David was trying to get his work done, or to get his responsibility for the family done so he could go climb the tree. So he was trying really hard to speed things up, but then, you know, time just went by really fast. Okay, so from 4 to 6 is about how David wanted to finish his responsibility so that he could go climb the mountain. All right, so here's the first passage, and you're only given 2 questions to answer. Okay, so this is the second one, and I believe that that's it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next passage.